Meet the Civil War general who talked big and lost even bigger. John Pope's bold mouth couldn't save him at Bull Run. He promised only victory, but led one of the Union's biggest defeats, who was General John Pope. March 16, 1822, September 23, 1892, was a career United States Army officer and a Union general during the American Civil War. Known for his success in the Western Theater and his infamous defeat at the Second Battle of Bull Run in the Eastern Theater, his military career spanned multiple conflicts, including the Mexican-American War, the Civil War, and the Indian War's early life and pre-Civil War military career birth and background. Born on March 16, 1822, in Louisville, Kentucky, John Pope was the son of Nathaniel Pope, a prominent federal judge in the Illinois Territory and a friend of Abraham Lincoln. His family connections included a brother-in-law, Manning Force, and a distant cousin married to Mary Todd Lincoln's sister, which gave him political leverage later in his career education. Pope entered the United States Military Academy at West Point in 1838, graduating in 1842, ranked 17th in a class of 56. His classmates included future Confederate generals James Longstreet, Richard H. Anderson, Earl Van Dorn, and Lafayette Miklas, as well as Union General William S. Rosecrans. His high-class standing earned him a commission as a brevet second lieutenant in the Corps of Topographical Engineers. Mexican-American War 1846 to 1848. Pope served under General Zachary Taylor, participating in the Battle of Monterrey, September 21 to 24, 1846, and the Battle of Buena Vista, February 22-23, 1847. His gallant conduct earned him brevet promotions to first lieutenant for Monterrey and captain for Buena Vista. These early successes established his reputation as a competent officer. Civil War career. The outbreak of the Civil War in 1861 propelled Pope into significant roles due to his military experience, political connections, and Republican sympathies, which were rare among Army officers. However, his brash demeanor and tendency to self-promote earned him a reputation as a braggart, which affected his relationships with peers and subordinates. Western Theater, 1861 to 1862. Initial appointments in April 1861, Pope volunteered as an aide to President-elect Abraham Lincoln and accompanied him on the inaugural train ride from Springfield, Illinois to Washington, D.C. on June 14, 1861. Lincoln appointed him Brigadier General of Volunteers, assigning him to recruit troops in Illinois. By July, he commanded the District of North and Central Missouri under Major General John C. Fremont. Pope's relationship with Fremont was strained, and he actively worked to have Fremont removed from command, contributing to Fremont's replacement by Major General Henry W. Halleck on November 2, 1861. This maneuvering damaged Pope's reputation, with some labeling him a schemer. Blackwater, Missouri. In December 1861, Pope led an expedition that defeated a Confederate force at Blackwater, Missouri, capturing approximately 1,200 prisoners. This minor victory garnered significant press attention, boosting his profile and catching Halleck's Notice Army of the Mississippi on February 23, 1862. Halleck appointed Pope commander of the Army of the Mississippi and the District of the Mississippi, Department of the Missouri, with 25,000 men. His mission was to clear Confederate obstacles along the Mississippi River. Capture of New Madrid. Pope executed a surprise march on New Madrid, Missouri, capturing it on March 14, 1862. Island No. 10. Pope orchestrated a brilliant campaign to capture the heavily fortified Confederate stronghold at Island No. 10, garrisoned by 12,000 men and 58 guns. His engineers cut a canal through swamps, allowing Union gunboats under Captain Andrew H. Foote to bypass the island. Pope landed his troops on the opposite shore, isolating the defenders. On April 7, 1862, Brigadier General William W. Mack surrendered the 7,000-man garrison, securing Union control of the Mississippi River as far south as Memphis. This victory earned Pope a promotion to Major General of Volunteers on March 21, 1862, and national recognition. Siege of Corinth. Following the Union victory at Shiloh, April 6-7, 1862, Pope commanded the left wing of Halleck's army during the Siege of Corinth, April 29, May 30, 1862, further solidifying his reputation in the Western Theater. Eastern Theater, and Second Battle of Bull Run, 1862, command of the Army of Virginia. In June 1862, after the failure of Major General George B. McClellan's Peninsula Campaign, President Lincoln summoned Pope to the Eastern Theater to command the newly formed Army of Virginia, consolidating scattered Union forces in the Shenandoah Valley. In Northern Virginia, Pope's appointment, supported by Secretary of War Edwin Stanton and Secretary of the Treasury Salmon Chase, caused friction with McClellan's loyalists. Controversial orders, Pope alienated his troops and Southern civilians. With his brash proclamations, he boasted of his Western successes, criticized the Army of Virginia's prior performance, and issued orders targeting Confederate civilians, including provisions to subsist off the land, hold civilians responsible for guerrilla attacks, and destroy homes from which Union troops were fired upon. Confederate General Robert E. Lee called him a miscreant. And these policies incited Confederate resolve to defeat him. Second Battle of Bull Run, August 28th to 30th, 1862. Pope's tenure in the East culminated in a disastrous defeat lead-up. Confederate General Stonewall Jackson moved against Pope's army, capturing the Union supply base at Manassas Station. Pope, misjudging the Confederate positions and numbers, issued unclear orders. On August 18, 1862, a Union spy, Thomas Harder, warned Pope of Lee's plans to attack, but Pope failed to act decisively on this intelligence battle. On August 29th, Pope's forces withstood attacks by Jackson and Lee. However, on August 30th, Pope ordered Major General John Porter to attack Jackson, exposing the Union flank. General James Longstreet launched a devastating counterattack, routing the Union Army and forcing a retreat. The Union suffered approximately 15,000 casualties. Aftermath: Pope was relieved of command on September 12, 1862, and his army was merged into the Army of the Potomac under McClellan. Pope blamed the defeat on Porter's disobedience, leading to Porter's court-martial and disgrace, 1879. Pope's unpopularity grew due to his accusations and poor leadership, with subordinates like Brigadier General Alpheus S. Williams holding him in low esteem. Post Bull Run and Dakota War, 1862 to 1865. Department of the Northwest, exiled from the Eastern Theater, Pope was sent to Minnesota to command the Department of the Northwest, where he dealt with the Dakota War of 1862. He adopted a scorched earth policy against the Sioux, arresting many for rape and murder. Though Lincoln commuted most death sentences, Pope's harsh measures were controversial but aligned with his aggressive approach. Military Division of the Missouri. On January 30, 1865, Pope was assigned to command the Military Division of the Missouri, the second largest geographical command. In the U.S., he received a brevet promotion to Major General in the regular Army on March 13, 1865. For his earlier success at Isla No. 10. Post-Civil War Career Reconstruction, 1867 to 1868. In April 1867, Pope was appointed governor of the Reconstruction 3rd Military District, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, headquartered in Atlanta. He issued progressive orders, allowing African Americans to serve on juries, postponing elections, and banning city advertising in anti-Reconstruction newspapers. His activist stance made him a prominent figure in Reconstruction efforts. Indian Wars 1869 to 1886. Pope spent the remainder of his career in the West, fighting in the Indian Wars. Department of the Missouri, 1870 to 1883. As commander, Pope protected settlers in the Northwest and Southwest from attacks by Apache and Sioux tribes. He was a key architect of the Red River War, 1874 to 1875, which subdued Southern Plains tribes. Pope advocated humane treatment of subjugated tribes. Blaming white encroachment for conflicts. Department of the Lakes, he briefly commanded this department in Detroit before returning to the Missouri Command. Division of the Pacific, Pope held this command until his retirement, promoted to Major General in the regular Army on October 26, 1882. Pope retired on March 16, 1886. A 1878 Board of Inquiry reaffirmed his responsibility for the Second Battle of Bull Run. But this had little impact on his later career, personal life, and legacy. Marriage. On September 15, 1859, Pope married Claire P. Horton, daughter of Ohio Congressman Valentine B. Horton. She died before him, and he was buried beside her in Bellefontaine Cemetery. St. Louis death. Pope died on September 23, 1892, at the Ohio Soldiers and Sailors Home in Sandusky, Ohio, while visiting his brother-in-law, Manning F. Force Memoirs, from 1886 to 1891. Pope wrote a series of articles for the National Tribune. Published posthumously as the Military Memoirs of General John Pope, 1998, these memoirs provide a detailed, balanced account of his campaigns and include vivid sketches of figures. Like Lincoln and Stanton, historians note their value as a primary source, offering a fresh perspective on his controversial career. Pope's career is a study in contrasts. His successes at New Madrid and Island No. 10 demonstrated strategic brilliance, but his defeat at Second Bull Run and his tendency to alienate peers tarnished his reputation. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more military, Navy, and geopolitical updates.